boys and girls, welcome back to What's That Book About? Today's book is Honus and Me by Dan Gutman. You might know Dan Gutman. He is the writer of My Weird School books and all the different variations of that. There's like 4 different series of My Weird School books, but this is a book about a boy who time travels, or it's a little more than that, and he does it with sports athletes. So I came across this book a while ago, a couple of years ago, and realized it was part of a whole series of books. Dan Gutman is apparently a huge baseball fan, so a lot of the books are famous baseball players, and it all ties to baseball in some way. But I was looking for, at the time, a book that might appeal to some of the boys in the class, because I was reading books aloud, and I was trying to find something that wasn't, the normal, I guess. So I came across this book, and it turned out to be one of my favorites. So I was really excited once I finished it. The class that I was reading it with absolutely loved it, and it turned out to be quite the find. So it's called Honus and Me, and it is about a baseball player who was one of the early baseball players, but he is very famous. We also didn't realize it. His baseball card sells for like millions of dollars now. I think Wayne Gretzky owns one of them. Very interesting side note for that. So let's get to our story. The first time I touched a baseball card, I felt a strange tingling sensation all over my body. This is introduction, not chapter 1 yet. It was sort of like that feeling you get when you touch your fingers lightly against a television screen when the set is on. Static electricity jumps off of the glass and onto your skin, or something like that, and I'll never forget it. I must have been 4 or 5 at the first time that this happened, but ever since then, I felt that feeling whenever I touch certain baseball cards. It's kind of creepy. I never get the tingling sensation from football cards or basketball cards. A plain old piece of cardboard wouldn't do it. Believe me, I've tried. Only baseball cards, and only certain baseball cards. Old cards work best. I never knew what was going on with these baseball cards, but I always thought there was something magical about them. Then something happened to me that made it all clear. And that's what this story is about. Joe Stoshak, who is the boy in the book. Chapter 1, Playing Hardball. Hey, elephant ears. When you walk down the street, Stoshak, you look like a taxi cab with both doors open. The words burned in my ears, which do stick out a little from my head, I must admit. I was at the plate. It was 2 outs in the 6th inning, and I was the last hope for the Yellow Jackets. We were down by a run, and the bases were empty. Their pitcher was only 11, but he had already whiffed me twice. That crack about my ears threw me off just enough so that I tipped the ball instead of hitting it with the meat of my bat. That was strike 2. Behind me, I could hear some of the kids on my team already packing up their equipment to go home. There wasn't much chance I was going to smack one out of the park. I hadn't hit one out of the infield all season. It's not that I'm not strong. My arms are really big, and people tell me that my chest is broader than any other 7th grader they've ever seen. I'm short for a 12-year-old and a little stocky. I'm actually a pretty good ball player. But those insults really get to me. The last time up, I struck out when they said my legs looked like a pair of parentheses. Bow-legged. I guess I'm kind of funny looking. If I wasn't me, I'd probably be making fun of me too. Nobody likes to make the last out. I sure didn't want to strike out looking at the last pitch whiz past me. I was ready to swing at it just about anything. And the pitcher went into his windup again, and I stood ready at the plate. The pitch looked good, and I brought back my arms to take a rip at it. Hey, Stoshak, their shortstop shouted as the ball left the pitcher's hand. Is that your nose or a door knocker? Well, I had never heard that one before. It threw off my timing, and it felt like a good swing, but I hit nothing. As usual. Strike 3, the ump yelled as the ball smacked into the catcher's mitt. Again. My 3rd strikeout of the game. Did I swing over it, under it, too early, too late? I couldn't even tell. All I know is that I wanted to shrivel up and fade away. The other team hooted with glee. Even some of my teammates were snickering. I'm going to stop there, because that's the end of chapter 1. The chapters are really short in this book, so it's a really quick read. That's what they say. It goes fast. So I hope you really take a chance at this book, Honus and Me. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. I liked the story, and like I said, it was a very quick read. Honus and Me.